talk about WandaVision, and we're going to talk about. I'm so upset that I even just said WandaVision first right there, but we're going to talk about Jupiter's Legacy. WandaVision didn't deserve to be first in anything. I really should have said Jupiter's Legacy first, because I'm going to talk about it first. WandaVision doesn't deserve the time. I was so very upset by it, but we're going to get into that later. So we're going to start with Jupiter's Legacy, which wasn't as bad as WandaVision. Bum ba dum bum, bum ba dum. Definitely not gonna get copyrighted because no one's gonna see it. Dun, 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 dun. Also humming, do 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 do. Hey, this is Cam from. Cam's very weak. He was on Cam's very weak. He's here today with, hopefully, the camera. Again, I've been trying to fix this camera for so long. It gives the widescreen, and I didn't realize that it was a strictly camera issue. I've been trying to fix it on the computer. Dum-dum. Just so hopefully I got it. And that could fix other camera issues. We shall see. And again, that is like Chef Boyardee to me, not racist, whatever it means to be. Oh boy. So today is, I think, going to be the regular episode. I don't know. One of them's a catch-up episode. I think there are going to be two coming out today. So one's a catch-up, one's a rego, and they are both exquisite. Not really. Actually, they're both just regular episodes. Hopefully they're shorter, though. That's going to be the nice part about it. Water, everybody. Water's amazing. Everybody drink water. Hopefully that was proof. I don't know if that angle can see it. But it's water in there. Or really clear vodka. We may never know. So, we're here. This episode is largely themed around TV shows. Again, I know I talked about The Stand, Amazon Prime. This one's going to be about two bigger network shows. We're going Disney Plus and Netflix, baby. Oh yeah. But first we have to do our look-alike hair shout-out. Hair shout-out today is brought to us by oddly named Mike Grinnell from Spittin' Chicklets, the Nervous Smiler. Presented that, yeah. He will be always looking as if someone is not inside of, but close to his bunghole at all times. He just has that kind of nervous face to him. It's great. I think I'll only use one picture, but you can look up other ones. There's only the hair similar in one. Anyway, thanks Mike Grinnell. He's Spittin' Chicklets somewhere else. He could maybe throw me a follower or two. That'd be cool. That'd be fun. Thanks, Mike. Anyway, today's show is going to be about TV shows, which aren't really TV shows anymore. They are internet binge shows. Ooh, let's get it. First one, we're going to talk about WandaVision, and we're going to talk about. I'm so upset that I even just said WandaVision first right there. But we're going to talk about Jupiter's Legacy. WandaVision didn't deserve to be first in anything. I really should have said Jupiter's Legacy first, because I'm going to talk about it first. WandaVision doesn't deserve the time. I was so very upset by it, but we're going to get into that later. So we're going to start with Jupiter's Legacy, which wasn't as bad as WandaVision. It was better by a bit, mostly because it reminded me so very closely of a film that just resonated with me at a great time in my life. But it was a crazy show. Sorry, we're talking about the show, not the movie. The show, Jupiter's Legacy, it's about this guy who goes crazy after he watches his dad jump off a roof. Then he discovers in drawings, his friend discovers in taped up drawings and not the taped up, like, not like one sheet of paper that he's like, wow, this is what I want. It is a whole bunch of sheets of paper that, it's a great cast, by the way, sorry, Josh Duhamel, Josh Duhamel, Leslie Bibb, who's not Leslie Mann from 40-Year-Old Virgin, knocked up. This is 40. You know, not that one. I was very confused when she wasn't anywhere in the show. But yes, we are. It's Leslie Bibb, who was in... God, I wish I wrote that down. She's in something else. And I was like, oh yeah, oh, she's in The League. She's Jennifer, whatever her name is, the first girlfriend, blonde one. And I was like, oh yeah, I thought she was a doctor for some reason. Anyway, I'm way off on this. She's in it. So it's about Josh Duhamel, who's drawing all over these papers, and then he's going crazy after watching his father die. His friend, I don't think it's his brother yet. No, his brother's later on. His friend comes in and is like, hey man, stop being crazy. You should just come out and be normal again. And somehow it kind of works, but it's because of magic father guy. Hey, just watch the show, you'll get what that means. Josh Duhamel snaps out of it. Friend puts together the scraps of the torn up drawings that this dude was doing on a bunch of different pieces of paper. I don't know how. And then it comes together and forms a windmill that no one recognizes. Not even people in the area are like, I don't know. He finally finds it. It's just a very weird plot. And he doesn't even have, like, oh, it's, yeah, so he goes off. It's a weird plot. They go off, he brings all his friends who he's seen in a vision. He has to convince them after he's already been crazy and said all these crazy things to them. Back in the time when mental health, if they would just put you in the smallest room they could find and be like, I think we fed him. Yeah, he's got food. He's got food nearby. He's good. Like, they did not care back in the, it was 29, 30s, like, bad things. Anyway, so he's, you know, he's trying to convince his friends I'm not crazy. Brings them to an island on a ship where a guy just comes out of the ocean. Like, it's great, it's mystical, and then they go to a future world where it's not, like, it's an accepted place. I don't know, it's just an odd timeline place where they're, like, they're in that Avengers Civil War, we need to not quite be the superheroes, or we need to be super strict superheroes. And then, oh man, then it's all told, which, by the way, this is why you'll notice I'm jumping all over the place. Quentin Tarantino did a great and terrible thing back in the 1990s when he made Pulp Fiction. Awesome movie, genre bending, probably genre finding, probably made up a whole new set of thriller type. Just jumps all over the place. Tells a whole story that way, and then you have to put the pieces together to create the linear story. But he tells the story, like it's a whole new story out of order, and then as you find out at the end, you're like, oh, now I know how it's told chronologically. Still kind of hard, you have to watch it a couple times, but you get it. And it was incredible. It was this unique new thing, original, awesome. Some stories that have done it in the past, but it was, I don't know, they weren't as well done. And then Pulp Fiction comes along, kills it. But the terrible side to this, so many other people have realized they're not Quentin Tarantino. Like, it's hard. It's hard to do what he did, to tell a it wouldn't be, you have to think about it this way, it wouldn't be the best story told straightforward. It would be a short story. It'd be really quick. It would probably be like a 45-minute movie, maybe. And a lot of the stuff it just wouldn't make sense. Bounce it around, tell some of the stuff out of place, some of the past, yeah, works perfectly. Jupiter's Legacy was like, just tell stuff when you reach a point that you're about to reveal everything. Just jump to a new scene. Just jump to it. Leave cliffhangers all over the place. Just, you know, get the story started. Get people like, oh, what's this? And then just Change it. Go to like an open field in Nebraska with 2 people just talking about a fight that's happening far away for over a minute. Good idea. And it wasn't even like a plot setup. You kind of find out that one of the superheroes dates other superheroes. But they have a whole club scene where they're all like with each other. You kind of assume that. It's, you know, not like open territory, but they kind of like do their own thing because they're people. It's not a huge plot line to be like, oh, well, he saves the superheroes. Neat. But anyway, that was a really small part. Then the fight happens. There's one alien that is just in this maximum security prison. And then after he gets defeated, he gets released with all the other prisoners. They don't really, I think they get all the, you assume all the other prisoners get back. And then after he gets beaten up, not killed, which was a big thing in the first part of the show, and he gets beaten up and knocked out in front of the father-son duo, who, no, I'll jump into that in a second. After he gets beaten up, he just is lying on the ground, knocked out in front of him, and the father and son are like, have this heart-to-heart, without looking at the guy. There is a solid 90 seconds where they are just looking at each other, and knocked out superhero villain guy, who killed other superheroes, and was only, like, somehow, a clone of him killed other superheroes. And then he's locked up in this maximum security prison that he could only get out of because another superhero, like, hacked him out. And yet they're just, for over a minute, close to 2 minutes, they're just like, no, don't look at him, don't look at him. And then they walk away. Just leave him. You know, the guards can handle him. You dumb superheroes. Like, what the so dumb. So dumb. There weren't guards around either. It was just the 3 alien superhero. That was it. So, get out of here. That's not good superheroing. The whole thing's about living by a code, doing the right thing for people. Lock them up, throw them in a jail cell, and then walk away. What? Anyway, so, yeah, not great. But, pros, it, you know, crazy diversity. It was insane. Everybody was featured. All boxes checked. Nailed it. It looked and gave you the feel of a great Disney film, Sky High, which is not the Disney we're going to be talking about later, because Sky High is incredible. It served its purpose. It was a kid's film, meant to be a kid's film, and you know what? It went above and beyond. Did a little bit in that young adult category, not just teens. So, great Sky High. Nailed it. Especially compared to these 2 shit shows. Trying to keep it pretty clean, because kids might watch this. Bad parents, but kids might watch this. So, well, it's not that bad, actually. I'm pretty fine. That wouldn't have been a good thing to yell. So, Cameroon jersey, by the way. Cameroon National. I'm clearly an African person, so this fits. Name's Cameron, so Cameroon, baby. It works. I'm an African. Okay, too much of that. So, back to Jupiter's Legacy. Looked a lot like Sky High. Great movie. You can look up, actually, I might be able to, main character, looked the fucking same. The young guy, Brandon, or Will Stronghold, as I had to write down, because I knew it was Will. The last name was great. So, and it's like the same plot line. So it's the son, sorry to jump out of Sky High, great movie again. The son is living underneath his father's shadow as a superhero. And not as a even in the reality before, when he watches his dad jump off the roof. So again, different dads, different generations. Sorry, I completely left that out. But so the older generation, the father superhero who watched his father jump off the roof, was living under his dad's shadow as a businessman. And then his brother's kind of, well, over his brother. And then, sorry. Then he goes, and does the same thing to his son. He's like, you have to live like this and do all these things. And the son's like, I don't want to do that. Just like in Sky High. But in Sky High, the son does want to do it, kind of, but doesn't want to do it like the dad says, or can't do it like the dad says. It's been a while since I've seen Sky High. And then, still overcomes it, becomes even stronger than his dad, like his dad foretold. I'm just saying, there must have been some workers who worked, writers, sorry, who worked on Sky High and Jupiter's Legacy, because they were very similar. So, that was fun. They did a nice job, but the other thing that Quentin Tarantino did was he had this story, it was a linear story. Like, there was a start, there was an end. I know that's not the full description of linear, that's more like vectors, yeah, vector? I don't know. Anyway, that has a speed or velocity to it. So, he is telling you a story, and that story is finite. It's it ends. What these stupid online Netflix shows, especially WandaVision, I'm gonna go off on WandaVision in a second. The stupid shows are like, hey, we're gonna leave cliffhangers and leave it open because everybody loved season 8 of Game of Thrones when they were like, we're not gonna close this book quite just yet. We're gonna open all these other books. We're gonna leave you options, baby. Fuck that. Get that shit out of here. So, did not like that. They kind of told you a story. They kind of, with the episode titles, they're like, okay, it's gonna be one season. It's even called a limited series, I'm pretty sure. I'll double check that now. But I'm pretty sure it's called a limited series, which would be a lie now. Anyway. So, then they opened it all back up with things that they had to describe with one person going, this makes sense because of this that I'm saying right now. Get out of here. Get out of here. That's probably as descriptive as I can get without giving it away. But then there's a whole fight scene that doesn't matter, and it's like, what are you doing? Like, just... It's a mental fight scene. That's going to be the hint. Mental fight scene doesn't make any sense. No relevance to the story unless, again, it's just plotline to later be like, no, I tried to help you guys because I fought him in his mind. But then the narrative in the mind wouldn't make sense. It just didn't. It was so great. Love the show. Then I'll get back into the other cons of the series that were like Sky High. The unathleticism, I should say, was very apparent. It was like Wonder Woman. Like, I'm so glad that they're like, okay, yeah, you don't have to fit the regular body type. That camera's out. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Just thank you. So, don't have to fit the regular body type. Just be a lady, be a superhero. That's fine. That's cool. Whatever. The guys are never always just super buff guys. They don't have to get ripped for superhero roles anyway. So it's totally fine. Like, I'm fine with that. But then, if they're gonna do that, and the guy did it, I mean, Brandon did it too. Like, I'm not saying this is just the women. It was just, there was a scene where, like, in Wonder Woman, where she lifts a tank without doing anything. She's just like, oh, my tank. And in this, she's just like, oh, you want me to lift a car? And then just, again, she's a superhero. I'm assuming she can lift a car. That's not the issue. But the fact that all the other superheroes, when they lift stuff, are like, get low, like, they still show those signs of like, this is a strenuous activity. Instead of just going, this is a car. So that's all I'm saying. And again, it wasn't just her. There was a scene with Brandon where he's slamming spikes and he just goes, and they just fly down. So, and it could be the CGI, like, make it just match up to what the effort level, I guess. If they're superheroes, kind of, I would hope that they would be athletic superheroes, is all. They would figure it out at a young age. Plus, and this is, again, just to dive into it a little bit deeper, like, the opening scene is her, this same girl who, like, unathletically lifts up a car. She's in heels. It is kind of a hard activity. Anyway, just, does that to a car. She's playing with 2 boys at the beginning who are also super, I would assume one of them at least is Brandon. And then the other one, I think she mentions, is another superhero who didn't do so well in the end. But I think I'm dating myself because I only watched this one time, and this is not a 2-time show. Same with WandaVision. So, yeah, it wasn't great. Let it match up. There's a couple scenes where they're fighting, and the guys are just flying like, ah, like actually like this. Arms just, ah, and it's like, come on, man. Like, just, you're flying. It's like swimming. If someone hit you in the water, you wouldn't just, I mean, if you're knocked out, you'd go, oh. But you'd be like, oh, you try and grab something. It's just a natural instinct. So, get the fuck out of here. Down to our loonies, baby. So, that's that. That's probably all I'm going to say. Again, reminded me of Sky High. Did not watch Sky High because I didn't want to connect the two forever. So I'm giving it some time so that one day I'm just like, oh, Sky High, let's watch it. Anyway, now let's get into WandaVision, which thoroughly pissed me off. I was yelling at my TV for the whole series. There was not a single episode that I didn't go, that was dumb. You didn't need to do that. What is this even gonna do? I'm glad Kat Dennings was in it. That's all. I didn't even write down, the most I wrote down is Wanda. Oh, I did write down WandaVision once. I didn't write down anything about this show, this side, because I did not want to give WandaVision anything. It didn't deserve any kind of... It's not even the worst show I've seen. Because I would watch a terrible show again to be like, yeah, that's fucking awful. This show is so bad, I'm just done. I hope it can't have a sequel, I don't think. It wouldn't make sense. It was the first 3 episodes of the show, which some people, I'm so glad I waited until it was just all out. Because I did not want this to happen, and I kind of thought it was going to happen. I should have put it in a video so I had proof of this, but... There were 45-minute episodes, the first 3 episodes, each one. Yeah, 45, 50-minute episodes. There were maybe 3 minutes in each one. I would say 10 minutes total across all 3 episodes. That was new information or advanced the storyline. That's all. Yeah, they called back to a few parts where it's like, oh, the TV cut out there. What happened? And you learn some things that kind of happened in the episode. But again, it was just like, now you understood why they were like, why did this glitch happen? They didn't need the whole setup. They referred to it so many times outside in the other episodes. You didn't need to just see it outright. In fact, they did that. They could have just been bonus at the end. Like, oh, and here's what it would have looked like as a TV show. Oh, that's fun. You didn't need to make that. People waited weeks. People waited weeks for this. They were like, I'm going to wait a whole time just to watch WandaVision. And then they watch the episode and they're like, okay, like... that was mostly the trailer for 45 minutes. Kat Dennings was new. And then there's a twist at the end where you're like, okay, other people are watching it too. No, that was the second episode when Kat Dennings is in it. The only big twist is it's like, oh, people are watching it. Which you knew because that was in the trailer. So this second episode is really where things kick off. This is like, and people waited a week between those episodes. And then in the second episode is Kat Dennings. Oh, I really, this is almost worth going back and searching into it, but at the same time, WandaVision's not worth it. It was so bad. So you learn, she punches the girl through the hole in the 3rd episode. In the 2nd episode, and you also learn that one of the people is from the outside, but you know who it is. You know it's that because she has the shield, or the sword. No, she has the sealed sign. Sword sign. And she's, it's picked up. You find out all these things, like, as you go along. So it's like, okay, so now you're just telling me more fake sitcom, laugh track bullshit. And it's like, get out of here. I just don't get it. And so I'm glad I didn't wait weeks in between this. That's an 8 episode, that's 8 weeks, 2 months that people were like, I can't wait to make the episode to find out if other people, who the other people are watching are. And then, and it just turned out, well, again, you knew it was all in her head, so it's like, it doesn't really make a huge difference. And then the one thing you find out is that it's just a whole game of we behind the scenes know who did it. Can you figure it out? Nope, because we're gonna tell you in the 7th and 8th episode. Like, we're gonna give you, just like Jupiter's Legacy, we're just gonna give you hints about this stupid fucking plot line the whole time that is probably gonna be a good plot line. Like in Endgame, they could have had a really great plot line with some other things, but they're like, you know what, other people know that out in the public, and we don't want that. We want fresh ideas, so even though it's kind of crap, we're gonna keep it original. Get out of here. I don't want that. Go with the big end the story well idea, regardless of who knows it out in the public. That's all. You know, maybe some people didn't read that one obscure blog or something. So yeah, there's that. That's fun. That is all I really want to give WandaVision. Like, incredible that they had some of the people in there in that show. Both of them great casts, honestly. Both great job. That's the one downside to big shows like this. Is that it's going to be filled with people that I'm like, why the fuck are you doing this to me, man? This could have been, you could have made this a great time had you been like, yeah, this shit doesn't make sense. Because you're not going to sign the same people back for season 2. WandaVision, they're not even going to have a season 2. So why even open up this stupid book of other things? Which is cool. We knew wizards exist. We didn't need to find out that there were Covens too. Sorry. Sorry, girls. Sorry to take that away from you, but it's not that big a thing. So, but again, they had Catherine Hahn. So it's like, I love Catherine Hahn. God damn it. So, sorry, coin. Yeah. And Paul Bettany is incredible, so you can't go wrong. Even though he's dead, he's out. He's out of the game. But it's like, fuck yeah, I love Paul Bettany. Keep him. Keep him around. Get rid of this Thor dude. No, Thor's pretty cool too. I don't even know who to... Get rid of all the Spider-Men. Go back to Tobey Maguire. That would be so fun. Chubby, out of shape, Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man. Get that shit going. Bring him back like, oh, Uncle Ben, I'm so sad now. I feel like I've gone through different universes. Like, do the whole Into the Spideyverse and just go back to Tobey Maguire. But a fat, sad Tobey Maguire who is upset that he can't Spider-Man. That was kind of a good Spider-Man. Was that Spider-Man 2? Where he's like, oh, I can't do it. Do it again. I don't know. That's the world we live in, where we're just in a cycle of just doing stuff again. So, Tobey Maguire for Spider-Man, baby. Okay. That's enough. I'm going to do another episode today. So, stick around, stay tuned. I need to eat way more food, though, if I'm going to talk for more. So, happy birthday. It's the 17th. Oh my god, happy birthday to my cousin in a week. So, I'll get you, though. I'll get you on the day. It'll happen.